check into the stream. We're live in Southside Minneapolis, Minnesota. Live in Southside Minneapolis, Minnesota, as protests have begun against Trump and Israel's strikes on Iran. Early this morning, we covered it overnight for over 5.5 hours last night, as most people were sleeping. But we covered the latest, and we'll continue to provide the latest. But now we're on the ground here in South Minneapolis.
Just for profit, not another missile, not another rocket. All these wars are just just for profit.
Not another missile, not another rocket.
All these wars are just for profit.
Not another missile, not another rocket.
All these wars are just for profit.
Not another missile, not another rocket.
All these wars are just for profit.
Not another missile, not another rocket.
All these wars are just for profit.
Not another missile, not another rocket.
All these wars are just for profit.
Not another missile, not another rocket.
All these wars are just for profit.
Not another missile, not another rocket.
All these wars are just for profit.
The biggest threat to the world today,
Donald Trump and the USA.
the biggest threat to the world today is
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
The biggest threat to the world today.
Donald Trump and the USA.
All right, now when I say, what do we want? You're going to say, hands off Iran, okay? Got that? What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Hands off Iran.
When do we want it?
Now.
Woo! Woo! Look at this drummer here. Now we're going to get started shortly, but first I'm going to rattle off a list of horrible things that are already happened. And when I say each of these things, you're going to say, shut it down. Okay? Slaughtering children.
Shut it down.
U.S. aggression.
Shut it down.
Bombing civilians.
Shut it down.
Misinformation.
Shut it down.
Money for war.
Shut it down.
So we can't feed the poor.
Shut it down.
Imperialist violence.
Shut it down.
Media silence.
Shut it down.
Genocide.
Shut it down.
Genocide.
Shut it down.
Genocide.
Shut it down.
Bombing civilians.
Shut it down.
Killing children.
Shut it down.
No more sanctions.
Shut it down.
U.S. aggression.
Shut it down.
Misinformation.
Shut it down.
Money for war.
Shut it down.
So we can't feed the poor.
Shut it down.
Imperialist violence.
Shut it down.
Media silence.
Shut it down.
Woo!
No war with Iran!
No war with Iran.
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 All right, give yourselves a big round of applause. It's cold out. Thank you all for coming. If you don't have a sign, we have some signs here by the truck. Thank you all for coming again. Peace be upon you, my brothers, sisters, and siblings. My name is Yosheroni. I am a Persian Jew born in occupied Palestine to an Iranian father, and I am a member of the Minnesota Peace Action Coalition, the Freedom Road Socialist Organization, and the Minnesota Anti-War Committee. It is with deep sorrow that I say that in the early hours of last night, the United States and Israel began an illegal bombing campaign against the Islamic Republic of Iran known as Operation Epic Fury. Stupid fucking name. Attacking over 20 provinces, the largest attack of which was directed against an all-girls school. That's right. Murdering at least 108 young girls and injuring at least 80 more. In total, the death count has reached at least 201 people and injured over 747 others. This is all amidst the backdrop of 2.5 years of the ongoing genocide of Gaza. 4 years of the U.S. proxy war against Russia. 2 months after the illegal kidnapping of President Maduro of Venezuela. 3 months of the federal occupation of Minneapolis by ICE. And barely just 1 month since the murder of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. In his recent address, Trump stated that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. But last year, when Trump bombed the nuclear facilities of Isfahan, Natanz, and Fordo, Trump proudly tweeted that Iran's nuclear capacity has been obliterated. So which is it? Because it cannot be both. Netanyahu has been telling the world that Iran is just 1 week away from acquiring a nuclear weapon for 30 years. And if all Trump really cared about was preventing Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons, then why did he tear up the JCPOA during his first term?
Yep.
Why not come to the negotiation table in good faith? Why issue a 10-day ultimatum? Clearly this war has nothing to do with Iran's civilian nuclear program. As part of the negotiations, the Trump administration demanded that Iran halt its ballistic missile program. This is an impossible demand on Iran. Put simply, it would be suicide. Not just for the government, but for the people. The U.S. and Israel knows this is unreasonable, and they use these impossible demands they know that Iran cannot agree to, so that they can turn around and say that Iran is intransigent. And therefore war is the only possible course of action. Let us be clear. Iran is fully and legally within their right to build their defensive ballistic missiles program as well as their civilian nuclear program. And the U.S., and more importantly, the U.S. has neither the legal nor the moral right to dictate upon any other country what their rights are regarding their own national defense. For decades, the U.S. has placed bone-crushing sanctions on Iran, in clear violations of the UN Charter of the right of all nations to self-determination. These sanctions have wreaked havoc and devastation upon the Iranian economy and their civilian population. As in Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, and Afghanistan, the wanton death, the misery, the destruction, the suffering, the cruelty is the point. For over 30 years, the U.S. has strangled Iran. Israel has attacked Iran, all in an attempt to bring the Islamic Republic to heel. All because Iran has the fortitude to say that the Palestinians are our brothers and sisters, and we will not allow the eradication of our brothers and sisters in our region on our watch. That is their crime.
That's right.
It is clear as day that the nuclear talks and discussions about ballistic missiles are mere smokescreens. The objectives are clear. The U.S. and Israel seek regime change and destabilization. Israel wants to turn Iran into the next Syria or Libya, a failed state complete with paramilitary death squads in the street, chaos in the government, and unlimited U.S.-Israeli access to Iran's wealth of natural resources and crucial trade routes. Trump campaigned on ending the U.S. forever wars, and now this war threatens to destabilize the entire region, crash global energy markets, and possibly lead to an even larger global war. This war would have devastating effects for every single human being on the planet for multiple generations. We at the Minnesota Peace Action Coalition, we demand an end to all hostilities against Iran. Stop the bombs, end the sanctions, let Iran live! 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 When Iran is under attack, bring about our first speaker for the day. Our first speaker is an 11-year veteran of the Army and the National Guard and a member of About Face and the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Please give it up for Doug.
Good evening. As stated, my name is Doug Long. I am an 11-year veteran of the U.S. Army, and I'm also a member of the Party for Socialism and Liberation and About Face Veterans Against the War, an anti-war veterans organization. There are currently 50,000 American troops in the Middle East. Those 50,000 troops are the largest concentration of American forces in the region since 2003.
Shame.
These troops, those whom President Trump may deploy to Iran, are not the children of the elite, those CEOs and shareholders who will profit from war.
Shame.
They are the children of America's working class. And I can tell you this definitively because during the last 2 years of my military service, I oversaw the recruitment of the soldiers who went to basic training in 2020 and 2022. The American troops are from America's disadvantaged high schools, our polluted and over-policed blocks and small towns with few jobs. If those soldiers who I recruited haven't left the Army already, those people I recruited are today's young soldier leaders, the sergeants, lieutenants, and captains. They don't want this war. Our military troops joined for many reasons, but few include the invasion and dismantlement of a country on the other side of the world. The soldiers that I know joined to get free, consistent health care, a quality education, and a better future. They stay in to provide for their families and to get a retirement pension, neither of which they will get if they become the casualties that Trump callously referred to in his statement last night. This unprovoked war on Iran occurs less than a month after Minnesota topped U.S. headlines by fighting back in a series of unprecedented shutdowns against militarism and federal terror on our streets. From Memphis to Minneapolis, Trump used the instrument of war to discipline labor here. From city block to citywide, Minnesota fought back. We had noise demonstrations. We helped people go to court. We stood outside the Whipple building. We stood outside businesses, and we organized to shut it down twice. Now, ICE can't make a stop anywhere in this city without fear of facing an angry crowd.
That's right.
And also, now ICE can't move to another city without the possibility of a strike. Just like our fight continues against the occupation of our state, the American working class has the power to demand what we want. And that what we want is a redistribution of the bloated trillion-dollar budget funding the war machine, instead to fund jobs, healthcare, decent schools, and affordable housing. We showed the world, not just America, but the whole world, our power here in Minnesota. Trump is scared of another Minnesota in New York, in LA, in San Francisco, etc. And he thinks that with his aircraft carriers, his high-tech weapons, and our own brothers and sisters in uniform, that he can threaten the world into submission. But he can't! Let me tell you this, his generals and the war profiteers are about to find out the working class in Iran is not our enemy. They are our allies in this fight. And when we refuse to fight their wars for them, when we shut down their cities just like we did here, their entire house of cards comes falling down. We are the power. And we will stop this war. No war on Iran!
No war
No war on Iran. No war on Iran. All right, my name is Sema. I'm an organizer with Women Against Military Madness. Some Peace Action Committee organized this response today. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce Naveen. My dear friend, our movement's great and good friend, courageous editor and founder of Mint Press, a global news source, which is our trusted source for accurate and essential information.
That's right.
So let's hear it from Bernard.
Thank you guys so much for being out here. I know it's a cold day and it's Ramadan. Many people here are fasting. But I'm here to remind you guys that our enemy is not the people of Iran. Our enemy are the parasitic billionaires that are running this country that are literally eating children.
That's right.
They're eating and raping our children. And today they bombed a school in Iran and they killed over 85 girls.
Hey!
Girls. I thought this war was about liberating women. No. We knew from the very beginning this has nothing to do with liberating our Muslim women. This has nothing to do with nuclear weapons. We saw what they did in Iraq. We saw what they did in Afghanistan. We saw how they sold those humanitarian fake wars in Libya, in Syria, and in Yemen. And I want to remind you, when the U.S. Saudi-backed coalition invaded Yemen for the first time, it was a school bus that they bombed, killing children. In Gaza, they bombed every single school, killing our education system in Gaza, targeting and blowing up our children.
Hey!
Israel and the United States and all of those that support this war are the real enemies of humanity.
That's right.
And the beautiful thing about Minnesota is that when ICE was here on our streets, we united across political, religious fronts, racial fronts, gender fronts, all of it, to push ICE out.
That's right.
And ICE is just an extension of the U.S. military machine. So if we can push ICE out, we can dismantle the U.S. military machine and the Israeli machine if we unite together in this country and around the world. We cannot rely on the Arab leaders in the Middle East to save the people of the Middle East. They have been allied with Israel, forming trade and relations and technological relations with the state of Israel. Right now, U.S. bases in Qatar, in Bahrain, and even in Syria are protecting Israel from Iranian missiles. But remember, Iran has a right to defend itself. It has a right to defend itself against U.S. bombs. They started this war, not Iran. Not Iran. Iran never threatened any country. It's Israel that has over 200 nuclear weapons. 200, and they're aimed at Iran. We have to remember who our enemy is. The time to unite is now. No war with Iran.
No war with Iran.
No war with Iran.
No war with Iran.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Free, free Palestine.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Bernard. As usual, brought an incredible and such an important global and international perspective to this. Something we all need and something the world needs to hear. They won't hear it in the mainstream media, will they? But they'll hear it from Bernard and Mint Press, so check it out. And if you think that's a treat, Bernard, we have another treat from you, except that they are not here with us. Sema, who knows Sema? Sema cannot be here for obvious reasons, but Sema has once again sent a speech to us, and I and Kim DeFranco are going to read it. Sema apologizes for it being so long, but because she's so angry, but I think we can forgive that, right? Sema is Iranian American and has plenty of right to be, well, we all have plenty of right, but particularly if you're Iranian American. So we will start the speech. All right. Try to hear, visualize, and I can't do it like Sema, obviously, but try to transpose it in your mind and hear Sema. Okay. Last night, early this morning Iran time, the U.S. and Israeli forces attacked multiple cities in Tehran, bombing residential neighborhoods and schools and killing civilians, including 108 girls in an elementary school in the city of Minneapolis. And at least 2 students in a school in the eastern part of Tehran. It is still unclear what the actual number of people who have been martyred and injured is. The elementary school has 170 students enrolled in this morning's session. So there are most likely, as we come to hear over the last 3 years, likely a lot more students, staff, and parents who are still under the rubble. These shameful attacks happened right in the middle of the U.S.-Iran negotiations. While the Iranian foreign minister and his Jordanian counterpart announced that the negotiations were going well, Trump ordered the military attack without any reason, calling it as usual a preemptive attack. When they attacked Iran, I got a message from my niece, who was the head of a trauma center in a hospital in downtown Tehran. They attacked. The bastards just attacked. She was giving it CPR to a patient when she heard the explosions. Earlier yesterday, my niece had told me that she was tired, that this is really sad, that she does not want to live if Iran becomes like Iraq or Syria. We're not going to let that happen, are we? We got her back. She told me that she no longer has it in her to continue if she has to be displaced and live in a tent. This broke my heart. My niece is 40 years old. She was born during the Iran-Iraq War and lived in the south of Iran, where her father was deployed as a medical intern. She grew up with the sounds of missile explosions, scarcity during the war, and the repression of social freedoms during the war. She experienced firsthand as a doctor what it meant not to be able to treat her patients who were dying from the pandemic because sanctions did not allow enough vaccines and medical equipment to enter Iran. My niece is not the only one to feel exhausted. Sanctions have made the Iranian people's lives a living hell for years. The economic collapse resulting from sanctions and sanction profiteering was a real reason for the Iranian people's protests to begin in December. Because of the hovering threat of U.S. and Israeli regime change threats, the Iranian state has often suppressed dissent, fearing foreign infiltration, and as we know, rightly so. But after the 12-day war in June 2025, when Israel and the U.S. saw that the Iranian people were united against Israeli intervention, the government was giving more social freedoms and compulsory hijab was not enforced. This frightened the U.S. and Israel. The U.S. tightened the sanctions even more than before, and Israel poured lots of resources into propaganda to create a fabricated image of the Pahlavi regime, making Reza Pahlavi into a populist hero for the young generation who has no historical memory and who has been fed up with the economic situation. The U.S. and Israel also made it known that Mossad and CIA are active on the ground in Iran. Shame. Because they know very well that this would give the Iranian state the ammo to violently attack the protesters and accuse them of treason and collusion with foreign enemies. So here we are in a situation where they instigate or perpetuate violence on the ground by setting police stations, mosques, and government offices on fire. Israel's really hoping that this time the Iranian people will welcome them and the U.S. aggressors. But the monarchists, be it in Iran or outside, are not the majority of the Iranian population. They are the loudest and have the most resources because they have the financial and ideological backing of Israel and the U.S. And why would Israel be so invested in a regime change in Iran? Because not having Iran as a part of the axis of resistance means complete annexation of the West Bank and complete occupation of Gaza and East Jerusalem, and even realization of greater Israel to expand Israel's territorial borders from the Sinai Desert to Iraq.
Let's be clear about a few things. These attacks are not preemptive. They are illegal. The U.S. and Israel has any reason to attack Iran. One, Iran does not have nuclear weapons, but even if it did, the U.S. or Israel do not have the right to attack Iran. The U.S. has 5,550 nuclear heads. The U.S. is the only country that has dropped nuclear bombs. The U.S. in this country has attacked 8 countries this past year. So if we are talking about a danger to humanity and the environment, and if we are concerned about the threat that the state poses to the world with its weapons, the U.S. is the most irrational and the most irresponsible and the most dangerous state of sponsored terrorism around the world. Let's not forget Israel. Israel has over 450 nuclear heads and refuses to sign on to the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Israel is accused by the International Court of Justice and the ICC of committing genocides and war crimes. And we've seen it live stream. According to UNICEF, Israel has killed over 50,000 Palestinian children since October 2023. Israel has continued to kill children, has bombed every school and the children of Gaza and the hospitals. They have killed more journalists than any other state. Israel has attacked Gaza and the West Bank just in 2025. Israel attacked Palestine, Iran, Libya, Qatar, Syria, and Yemen. Then in 2026, it bombed Venezuela, unlawfully kidnapping President Maduro and his partner. It also attacks aid flottillas in Tanzania, Maltese, and Greek territorial waters. If 2 states pose a danger to the world, they are the United States and Israel. Let's not forget about the domestic terrorism of ICE in the U.S. against immigrants, citizens or not, even white settlers and black people, and domestic terrorism of the IDF against dissidents in 1948 Palestine. Lastly, Trump and Netanyahu, the war criminals, they have claimed that they want to free the Iranian people from the tyranny of the Iranian regime and have been advocating this regime change. This is the biggest joke in history. I'm not going to defend Iran's state violence crackdown on protesters. The state is guilty of violent repression of dissent. No state should kill their own citizens or immigrants. And the Iranian state is no exception. But, and this is a big but, Trump and Netanyahu are not in the position to criticize, let alone punish, the Iranian state. They are the most tyrannical fascist war criminals, unethical politicians in our time. If there's going to be a change in the structure of Iranian government, it must be decided by the majority of Iran's 85 million people. Not Trump, not Netanyahu, not the corrupt monarchists who are calling for the return of Raza. the dethroned Shah of Iran, a dictator who imprisoned and killed many communists and Islamic nationalists. The corrupt man who was installed in 1953, the U.S.-backed coup that removed Dr. Mohammed Mossadegh,
Mossadegh.
the democratically elected prime minister who had nationalized Iran's oil. But the British and the Americans did not want that. They paid and mobilized a group of monarchist studs, led by a man.
Shaba, okay.
Shaban Bimoch.
Brutalizing anyone who stood in their way. Exactly what today's monarchists are doing to anyone who disagrees with them. And backed by the Israeli propaganda and funding, they have managed to monopolize the narrative to make it seem like the Iranian people want a return of the monarchy. Most Iranians do not want that. Even if the removal of monarchists to rule Iran, they are literally fascists who in their recent rally in Munich, Canada, and Los Angeles chanted Hitler fascist slogans. Yeah, in Farsi. The range of the propaganda devices that include repetitive and simple slogans, dehumanizing imagery, and mass media saturation, all of which the strategies used in Nazi practice. For we must say no to fascism, no to war. Our struggles from Palestine to Lebanon to Iran to Afghanistan to Yemen, Venezuela, Cuba, Sudan, and right here in Turtle Island are connected. Those who profit from dividing us are afraid of our unity. That's right. We must join forces, and we know that when we fight, thank you.
From Palestine to Tehran, we say no war with Iran.
We say no war with Iran.
From Palestine to Tehran,
From Palestine to Tehran.
we say no war with Iran.
We say no war with Iran.
From Palestine to Tehran,
From Palestine to Tehran.
we say no war with Iran.
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 Our next speaker is someone that we've been working with for quite a few years. Lena Jabara has been a member of the USPCN, the U.S. Palestinian Community Network. The USPCN is a national organization that's been around for 20 years. They have been on the front lines of the fight for Palestinian liberation, but they stand with Lebanon, they stand with Iran, and they stand here in Minneapolis to say fuck ICE, and they're here. Please give it up for Lena Jabara.
From Iran to Palestine,
From Iran to Palestine.
stop the U.S. war machine.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
From Iran to Palestine,
From Iran to Palestine.
stop the U.S. war machine.
Stop the U.S. war machine.
Like Yossi said, my name's Lena and I'm a proud member of the U.S. Palestinian Community Network. I'd like to preface by saying that I usually use the word we to describe the U.S.'s actions abroad because it is our tax dollars that fund these attacks, making us all culpable in the crimes of our country. However, Americans do not want this war. A poll from earlier this month showed that 70% of American voters oppose military intervention in Iran.
Right.
The U.S. did not bomb Iran because the American public demanded it. The U.S. did not bomb Iran because Iran is just days away from developing nuclear weapons either. That's something the U.S. has been claiming for decades now, and it is a blatant rerun of the weapons of mass destruction lies we suffered through the global war on terror. The U.S. did not bomb Iran to bring liberal values to Iran either, because as we should all know by now, things like women's rights are not won by bombing an all-girls grade school and murdering dozens of young girls like the U.S. did last night. These are the girls who the U.S. purportedly and hypocritically claims to be liberating. Shame! The U.S. did not bomb Iran to wring justice on a government for conducting a violent crackdown on peaceful protesters. Something that should be evident to all of us with Renee Goods and Alex Preddy's murderers still walking the streets of this country freely. The U.S. did not even bomb Iran to address the demands of Iranian protesters, which were initially focused on economic hardships brought on by decades of crushing U.S. sanctions. When the protests started in December before being co-opted by U.S. and Israeli agents, the Iranian government was meeting with these protesters to address their concerns. If the U.S. actually cared about these concerns, it could have chosen to lift the inhumane sanctions crippling Iran's economy.
That's right.
Instead, the U.S. has publicly rejoiced that its sanctions were effective in creating the violent upheaval and instability necessary to justify dropping bombs on children. The U.S. cares as much about aiding starving Iranians as it cares about aiding starving Americans, which is to say the U.S. does not care.
That's right.
We are all being dragged into another war that will strain our already strained economy and that will murder thousands of innocent people across the Middle East, not for justice for working class people anywhere, but to finish what the U.S. sought to do when it first began aiding Israel and ethnically cleansing Palestine decades ago, establishing complete control over the region and its resources. And we should be clear with ourselves and with our peers that the U.S. bombing Iran is not evidence that Israel controls the U.S. Trump is not being blackmailed to drag us into this war. This is not something that can only ever happen under the Trump administration.
That's right.
It was under Biden's administration that the U.S. began colluding with Israel to attack Iran and what culminated into the 12-day war. It was under Carter's administration in 1979 that the U.S. began imposing deadly sanctions aimed at crippling Iran. It was under Eisenhower's administration in 1953 that the CIA overthrew the democratically elected, secular Iranian Prime Minister Mohammad Mossadegh to prevent Iran from nationalizing its own oil. Taking down Iran has long been an aim of this country because this country prioritizes lining the pockets of billionaire oil execs and their friends rather than its own working class people. And this aim has only been exacerbated over the last 2 years as Iran has shown that it would not tolerate the genocide of the Palestinian people and that it would not abandon its commitment to uprooting rather than surrendering to U.S. imperialist bloodlust in the region. The U.S. response to Iran's distaste for seeing children blown up by U.S. manufactured bombs was to bomb an Iranian school and murder dozens of school-aged children. Shame! The fact of the matter is that Iran is being punished for not only sitting on a bed of profitable natural resources, but for its role in heading the axis of resistance, for aiding Palestine, Lebanon, Iraq, and Yemen in the fight against Israel's U.S.-backed campaign of ethnically cleansing and colonizing the entire region, and for successfully resisting U.S. aggression on their turf. The U.S. bombed Iran because Iran has refused to be conquered. And Iran will not be conquered. Iranians will not be intimidated into acquiescence by state-sanctioned violence, just as Minnesotans were not intimidated during Operation Metro Surge. People of the state unite when outside forces attempt to dictate their sovereignty by military means. And those living under U.S. military aggression have every right to fight back, whether that be in Tehran or in Minneapolis. Last summer's 12-day war showed us how Iranians unite against U.S. aggression in their country, and the victories of the IRGC in that war gave us only a tiny sense of Iran's vast military capabilities. Iran has the means and the right to fight back. And we have an obligation to stand with them and demand that the internal concerns of Iranians are dealt with by Iranians themselves without U.S. bombs and sanctions determining their circumstances for them. We demand justice! We demand peace!
We demand justice! We demand peace!
U.S. out of the Middle East!
U.S. out of the Middle East!
We demand justice! We demand peace!
We demand justice! We demand peace!
U.S. out of the Middle East!
U.S. out of the Middle East!
Thank you.
Thank you, Lena. Give it up again for Lena. And our last speaker is Naveen, who has been on the streets and at this microphone since this outrage began, speaks passionately and clearly about what is happening in his the home of his ancestors. After this, are you ready to march? All right, we will march after Naveen's speech, so give it up for Naveen.
Thank you, Sarah. Hello, everybody. My name is Naveen. I'm a member of the Minnesota Peace Action Coalition, and I am Iranian American. It's beautiful to see so many people out here today, but honestly, I've noticed something. I don't think anyone else noticed this? I've noticed that there aren't a lot of Iranians around. Why is that? That's because a lot of people, and I'm a child of the diaspora, given I'm Iranian American, grew up here in the United States, families from Iran. But that's because everybody in my community is unfortunately celebrating. I come from a very pro-war community, and people are celebrating, this is the end of the Islamic Republic of Iran. We're gonna get freedom, they're gonna overthrow this government, and then the next day we're gonna have a democracy. Well, the same thing that people just bought into it, unfortunately. And, I've been alone in this fight for years. So keep that in mind. Just, if you go out against and you say, no, war is bad as an Iranian American, you're basically in this fight alone. So, and, unfortunately, it's sad that this is where it unfortunately led to again. And I want to talk about how we got to this point. Because just this week, me and a few people in the crowd, if Mike Madden is around and Amy Blumenshine, we went to Senator Tina Smith's office because we were fearing this war. And we went and we didn't actually get to speak to her, but we spoke with her staffer, one of her staffers. And then I feel like we spent an hour, I spent at least like 25 to 30 minutes talking about the effects that the U.S. sanctions has had on the Iranian economy. And how the reason we're at this point is because basically the economy has got shattered, and it basically led to this whole movement that eventually led into violence and a crackdown, and then and then Trump taking the U.S. military warships and putting them right directly on the coast of Iran. Shame. And you know what we got? We got a very carefully crafted response from, not even really carefully crafted, from Senator Smith's office that didn't even mention sanctions once. They talk about the Iranian people protesting, but they don't talk about why the Iranian people are protesting. Let me give you an example of the current state of Iran. Picture this. This is the state of the Iranian economy. The average Iranian is living off 130 to 150 US dollars if you do the calculation between tomans to USD. Can you imagine living off $130 a month? Imagine if that was you. Imagine if that was you. And basically, like my cousin Sudi, who lives in Karaj, which is the neighboring city of Tehran. Tehran and Karaj is like a Minneapolis, St. Paul situation. Neighboring cities, people live between both and go to work in between both, just like here in Minneapolis, St. Paul. She lives in Karaj, and she lives off a pension that she got transferred to her from her dad when he died from the National Oil Company, because my entire family worked in Iranian oil. And that's about 20 million tomans per month, which is 134 USD if you do the calculation. You know how much the price of a kilo of chicken is in Iran right now at the grocery store? 2 million. Divide 20 million by 2 million. That is 1/10 of your monthly salary. This is how people are fucking living. This is how my people are fucking living. And you want to know something? The reason why they're living like this is because the United States has crashed the economy. And And then unfortunately, you know what the government says to give to you? The government is like, we're going to give you $7 a month to fix this economic situation. $7, can you imagine? $7 a month on top of that. What does that give you? A bag of rice? What about your rent? What about your utilities? What about your internet? What about your bills, friggin' mortgage, whatever? That is the situation in Iran, and unfortunately, this is what the U.S. has wanted. This is what, you know, Trump tore up the deal, the Iran nuclear deal, the JCPOA in 2018, and he said, oh, you know, that's because we want a better deal with Iran. You know, the criticism of the deal is like we gave billions of dollars to Iran, and you know they still used it to fund the groups in Lebanon and Iraq and stuff like that. But like it also didn't take into account Iran's ballistic missile program. So they basically made adjustments to the initial deal that Iran actually followed to a T, to a point that we could have built off to normalize relations to actually like prevent war. But then basically that's where we got. Now look at that. We don't have a deal. There's no deal, and we got war on top of that. So, and a little bit about the city of Tehran. It's my dad's hometown. It is the land where all 4 of my grandparents are buried under. And all I want to say is that I'm glad that all of my grandparents are gone at this point, because I don't want any of them to see this. This is not fun. I don't like being up here. don't wish this on anyone. This is not something that I want to do. I feel like it's something I have to do. So I'll just leave it at that. I think I touched upon everything. Hands off Iran, US out of the Middle East, and fuck Trump.
Make some noise for Naveen. All right, everybody, we know that it's cold, and so we made the decision. We're gonna keep this just hanging out. We're gonna do some chants, and we're gonna close it out for the night. Is that all right? Make some noise. From Iran to Palestine. From Iran to Palestine. Killing children is a crime. Killing children is a crime. From Iran to Palestine. From Iran to Palestine. Killing children is a crime. From Iran to Palestine. From Iran to Palestine. Killing children is a crime. Killing children is a crime. From Iran to Palestine. From Iran to Palestine. Killing children is a crime. 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 And the sanctions stop the pain. And the sanctions stop the pain. No more war for oil and gain. No more war for oil and gain. And the sanctions stop the pain. And the sanctions stop the pain. No more war for oil or gain. 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 Hey Trump, we see you. Hey Trump, we see you. You like killing children too. You like killing children too. Hey Trump, we see you. Hey Trump, we see you. You like killing children too. You like killing children too. Hey Trump. Hey Trump, we see you. Hey Trump, we see you. You like killing children too. You like killing children too. No war with Iran. 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 From Tehran to Gaza Sea. From Tehran to Gaza Sea. U.S. out of the Middle East. U.S. out of the Middle East. From Tehran to Gaza Sea. From Tehran
All right, everybody. It's cold, but this was a protest against Trump and Israel's attack on Iran overnight, which we covered live on the channel, and now we got to see what's going to happen next. But I'm going to be going back home. What are you guys talking? All right, hey. We were in my chat talking about some other creators. Crazy, actually crazy. Let me know when they actually get out in person and cover something for real. So I'm gonna get home, you guys. It's cold, but there's a gathering out here. They're gonna chant for a little while. I thought there was gonna be a march, but they're just gonna stand there and chant. So I'm gonna go home. We'll talk about this more. I'm probably gonna do a safety meeting stream because I want to talk about some stuff. Definitely want to talk about some things. But yeah, this was live coverage of this protest. People are very mad about the U.S. intervening in the Middle East again. And no matter how you feel, like, Ayatollah is terrible. The Iranian regime sucks. The IRGC, fuck that. But at the same time, the U.S. and Israel conducting operations in the Middle East and regime change. I thought MAGA was against regime change. I thought Trump was against regime change. No new wars. What happened? So that's what I'm on. That's what I'm about with it. So I'm wondering what the hell happened there. But we'll talk about that more, you guys, when I get home. We'll also be gaming on my gaming channel later. More Resident Evil 9. I'm not engulfing myself in Middle East bullshit again. I'm just not doing it. The people involved suck. I'm just being honest. I like my community, but like I'm not gonna influence Middle Eastern conflict shit. Like I'll talk about it with you guys when stuff happens, but I'm not gonna make my platform lock in on Middle Eastern conflicts because it's the worst, okay? And I don't want the followers either for it. I do not. I do not want the subscribers. I don't want the followers for war shit because they're terrible usually. Mostly terrible. I'm just being real with you guys. So I'm going to keep doing what we do on the ground here in Minnesota. I'm going to keep giving you guys the latest updates at home when I can. And I'll give you guys everything that's going on in general, all right? So like the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. More on-the-ground coverage here in Minnesota and beyond, around the country, covering the Trump regime, you guys. Hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys can, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Appreciate you.